successful entrepreneurs and successful executives know collaboration. It's the art of negotiation, the art of collaboration. Because I tell the women this all the time, there really is enough out there for all of us. So the scarcity mentality, learn how to collaborate, learn how to share your information, because you know what they say about a closed fist.
Yes.
Fist, nothing can get in. So learn how to collaborate. All of us want to be successful, but it's not just being successful, it's being significant. And also know that being significant, what is your impact? So significance and impact are the words that I would leave with them. You have to know who you want to be before you know where you want to go. And so that is a combination of you putting together a business plan. It can be a single page business plan if you're just starting out. It can be far more detailed if you're a bigger organization or you've grown to that size. But you must have a strategic plan and a business plan, and you need to understand the difference. So those are two pieces of advice I would give.
Well, hello everyone to another episode of Chatting with the Experts TV show, hosted by none other than me, Paula Okonneh, in which I bring to you amazing women, professional and entrepreneurial women who share the same mission with me, which is to inspire, to educate, and empower women globally. Today, I am going to be talking about enhanced strategies for elevated success with an amazing guest of mine, Betty Hines. I'll tell you a little bit about her. Betty shares powerful strategies to help women break barriers and achieve seven-figure success, an achievement reached by fewer than 4% of women. She's a seasoned business strategist, she's a connector, and she's a certified advanced facilitator specializing in supporting women-led businesses. I could say a lot more about her because there's so much more to say about her, but why don't I do this? Let me have her do it. So with that, I want to welcome Betty Hines to Chatting with the Experts.
Hello, Paula. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my story and my journey.
Absolutely. Well, I said a teeny bit about you. Your bio blew me out of the water. So can you just say a little bit more about you? Because if I had to continue reading your bio, we'd be here for the next hour.
Sure. Let me give you a short version, and people can certainly go on the website and LinkedIn and read more about it as well. But I've been working in different spaces. I come out of corporate America. And from corporate America, I became an entrepreneur in partnership with my husband. And from there, I became a consultant. So I have the full gamut in terms of working with businesses. I'm very passionate about having women reach their full potential. And what I have learned, having come out of both those spaces, and this is what I try to impart with Women Elevating Women, or what we affectionately refer to it as WOO, is that I try to impart on them that we can all be significant, but it's important to be impactful. And I heard you spoke about it. And this is what our organization is about. So I took part of my journey, having been in this space for decades, is that I've taken very key successful characteristics of women entrepreneurs and women executives, and I blended them together. And from that, I pulled out what I call the 5 tenets or the 5 pillars of success. And so that's about me. So I work with women who have run billion-dollar companies, and I want to take that knowledge and transfer it into those individuals, those women who are trying to scale their businesses to the next level, at least to, some of them want to go to 7 figures, some will go any higher, but just want to share my gifts.
And that's why you are here, to share your gifts. So the title of the show is Enhanced Strategies for Elevated Success. Can you share at least 2 strategies for this elevated success? Because I'm so excited just hearing you talk about elevated success, impact. Those are my words. So,
sure. Well, I think when people talk about elevating, they feel they have to go it alone. And they don't have to go it alone. And there's a saying that from one of the organizations that I work with called Women Presidents Organization, and it says, it's lonely at the top.
Mm.
And it is, particularly for women who want to be in business and they want to be entrepreneurs, but it doesn't need to be. So one of my strategies for success is for everybody. I don't care what business that you're in. If you're looking in the business mode, find yourself a peer advisory group. I'm a huge proponent of a peer advisory group. It's always good. It's a partnership, no different than it is in a religious organization, regardless of what your religion and your beliefs are. Find you a home, because as they say, if two or more come together. So I believe in that whole process and methodology and mentality. So I would say the first strategy is to find yourself a peer advisory group. Now, having said that first, I feel it's important, but the number one thing is decide what you want to do. What do you feel you want to offer to the community? What do you feel you want to offer to your ecosystem? You have to know where you want who you want to be before you know where you want to go. And so that is a combination of you putting together a business plan. It can be a single page business plan if you're just starting out. It can be far more detailed if you're a bigger organization or you've grown to that size. But you must have a strategic plan and a business plan, and you need to understand the difference. So those are two pieces of advice I would give.
I love that you said that business plan, because a lot of women are afraid to do that. Not just women, business owners are afraid about that business plan, because it exposes sometimes the cracks in the business. And sometimes people just don't want to face the truth.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy that you said that. You pointed that out. Yeah. And so, I know when you and I spoke off camera, you talked about creating an ecosystem for breaking barriers. What exactly is that?
Well, I created an ecosystem for a segment. I'm not here to conquer the world. I'm trying to impact maybe 8 to 10% of the market. And I've worked with and still work with that barely 3% of women who have the revenues that exceed $1 million or more. Pre-COVID, it was 4%. And now that we're getting through that, I want to call whatever you want to call it, a fiasco, or getting through the pandemic, through that time period, it's barely 3%. So not everybody's going to get there, nor not everybody wants to get there. But there's a group of women, at least in this country, and there's statistics in other countries as well, but there's a group of women in this country, about 8%, 10%, that are at six figures. And that's a good place to be at six figures, because for women, business owners, I mean, their average revenues hover around 27,000. That's like a side hustle. But for those of us who are at that six figures and we want to scale higher to $1 million, you need the infrastructure. And you need to be able to get that information from somebody else other than yourself, because you're not going to have it. So that is the ecosystem that I work with. I take those individuals who are at six figures and they just are in a rut. They don't know how to get to the next level. And so this is the ecosystem that we create, because statistics has shown, particularly with women, that women learn experientially. And that's learning from the experiences of others. So just imagine when you gather a group of women together, and in my case, we do it in groups of 15 to 20, you grab them together, they share their experiences, you can glean knowledge from that experience and take it to the next level. That is the community, the ecosystem that we're building with WOO.
Yes, they always say that if you want to go, I think it's the African saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
That's right.
Together we can make things happen.
Yes.
I'm so impacted by that. So we talked about, creating an ecosystem for breaking barriers. And, that's particularly, I think, important for women. For many years, we always felt that we couldn't. We always wanted to be on the back burner, and we wanted to put other people in front of us. If it wasn't for those of us who were married, we'd put our husbands first and then our children. And even sometimes when our children left, we still put ourselves behind,
Yes.
I love what you're talking about, because women, we need to hear this.
Yes.
We need to hear this. It's sometimes that's even part of your self-care, self-preservation, knowing that you can.
hmm In fact, that's one of my pillars. You and I spoke about this, the courage pillar.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the courage to take care of your health, both your mental and physical, and the courage to take care of your wealth, both your personal and your business, because those things are what we typically, as women who tend to be nurturing, I don't care if you're the CEO, we tend to be nurturing and wanting to take care of others. We do put on the back burner. And I'm not going to go into much depth, but we talked about how during COVID, there were women who were businesswomen, entrepreneurs, that they were still finding themselves, even with all the restrictions and constraints, rightfully so, with the pandemic, they couldn't bring that housekeeper inside to clean the house. They maybe had someone come in and preparing the meals. They definitely weren't school teachers. They were sending their kids off to school. Now they found themselves taking on all those additional roles, even if they were a single parent or in a relationship of some type. So it really took a toll on one's mental health. And even though COVID is more under control, there's still remnants of that women have mentally. And we need to continue. It just heightened the need that we need to take care of our mental health. And so there's a lot of apps out there. There's a You Are Warriors app. There's the Better Me. There's apps out there that help you take care of your mental health. And we need to do that. We need to do more of that. And it's okay. Give ourselves permission for self-care and self-love.
Big part, permission for self-care and self-love and grace.
Yes.
Be graceful to yourself. Forgive
Mm-hmm.
yourself. I mean, nobody's
Yes,
perfect.
exactly.
Our children don't even want us to be perfect. People don't want us to be perfect because when you're perfect, then you put them on a higher pedestal that they're trying to achieve, which they know within themselves that they can't.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but we talked about, and you just made reference to that, about the 5 pillars, and you mentioned courage being one of them. What are some of the other ones, the other 4?
Sure, absolutely. Another one of them is communicate, and that's the branding message. We need to do both a personal and a business brand. So I've just been very fortunate to have a branding expert on our team. She's our chief creative officer, and it's about branding. Some of the messaging that we deliver, particularly for those women that are under a certain revenue level, and even to do that with some who aren't, is if you there are things that we need to be mindful of. Social media is here. AI is here. And I'm not saying you need to be the expert in it, but you need to know that, be knowledgeable and understand the importance of being a part of it to some level. So I tell them, when you have your LinkedIn profile, just spend a little money. Get a professional photographer so you can have your post. And now you can do it artificial intelligence, but the snapshot, the selfie, that just does not, because that's a reflection of who you are in your business. So that's just one piece of it. But it's also the messaging in terms of being consistent with your messaging. And there's a whole piece of training and understanding that our brand expert provides to these women about know your archetype. You're not going to get along with everybody, and there's a certain personality that you have, and you need to understand who are the women you want to attract in your business. What is your archetype? So that is what we mean by communicate. And when you communicate effectively, people will listen.
Mm-hmm. So
that's one. Another one is called collaborate. I am huge in collaboration. And that's back to what you're saying about trying to do it alone. And when we collaborate, we've not, and people might disagree with me, but in my experience, both in corporate and in entrepreneurship, I'm seeing a shift, I'm seeing a change that women need to learn how to collaborate better. And what I mean by collaborate, that's me going into this with the intention of working together, not going into a negotiation thinking, what can I get out of this? What can I take away? But to both put in the same amount of effort and concentration so that you both will be better. It's the collaboration. You will find successful entrepreneurs and successful executives know collaboration. It's the art of negotiation, the art of collaboration. Because I tell the women this all the time, there really is enough out there for all of us. So the scarcity mentality, learn how to collaborate, learn how to share your information, because you know what they say about a closed fist.
Yes.
Fist, nothing can get in. So learn how to collaborate. And the other one that I talk about is the cultivate pillar. The cultivate pillar is learning how to reach back. Again, You take a look at the profile of successful executives, of successful entrepreneurs, they're always giving back. There's a joy. There's a self-fulfilling prophecy when you're giving back and cultivating others. You can do it in a lot of different ways. I'm an usher. I love to usher. You can do it in terms of mentoring and coaching other people. What we do in our organization, we like to take those groups of individuals, particularly nonprofits, and bring them into our organization and help them scale. We also believe in working with the young entrepreneurs. We take those women who are in revenues around $100,000 to $500,000, and we put them through a 9-month course called a cohort program. That is led by my COO, CFO, Tian Ligon. She runs that operation because we find that they need a little bit more business acumen. And then we pair them with a mentor, accountability partner. We pair them with a mentor, someone who has had the successes, who have had gross revenues over $1 million or more, because sometimes they just need a listening ear. So we believe in cultivation. We all have an opportunity or have the need to grow bigger and stronger. And that is with someone being a mentor, a partner. I have a mentor, I have a coach, and we try to give that back to our organization. And the last one is called the connect pillar.
Connect. Okay. I'm
Connect.
taking notes. That's why you see me looking down. Taking notes.
Connect. Connect pillar is so vitally important. It is those strategic introductions. I still go on and will testify that there's so many opportunities for you to go out and network. There's events every week, every night of the week, 2 or 3 different events, but you need to select the right ones that are in alignment with your business, your organization, and your values. So the connect pillar are those strategic introductions. And what do I mean by strategic introductions? Maybe you want to meet somebody and you don't know who they are. And sometimes, some people are willing just to come up and say, "Hey, Betty, I want to meet you." But you got to find the right time for those introductions. Not every time is a good time. And first off, you don't even know if I'm going to be a good alignment with you. So if I come to you, Paula, and say, Paula, and I think we were talking beforehand, I know some people that when you come to Philadelphia that I want you to meet. I think they'll be a good leverage point for you in terms of scaling who you bring onto your show. So what does that mean? The very fact that I'm introducing you to, let's say, Sue, if I introduce you to her, you've been in some regards vetted. Of course, she's going to do her own vetting, but it's those strategic introductions. And you can have all the alphabets behind your name. You can have all the certifications, and that's all well and good. But there's a lot of people knocking on those corporations' doors or knocking on the doors of others. So it's that making those connections. And that's what we do within our ecosystem, within our Woo crews. We call them Woo crews. I can't take credit for the word crew. That came up for one of our members, Rita Ross. She said, "Let's call ourselves the crews. I don't want to be called a chapter." So with our Woo crews, we do those sort of things. We make those introductions when we have our meetings together in networking. We say, "Oh, you're in this line of business? Well, I know someone here that can be of value to you." So these are the 5 pillars that I deem will help you. If you master those or even engage into them to some extent, will help you scale.
I love it. As I said, I was taking notes. So let me recount that. Courage, communication, collaborate, cultivate, which is reaching back, and connect, color. These are things that we need. We hear, but sometimes we just need someone to be there to make it happen, make it come alive. Especially you talked about the connect color, which is strategic introduction. Many a time, we just need, as you say, that warm introduction, someone who can take you and say, "I know this person." And therefore, it breaks down all the barriers and the awkwardness and just, creates a quick and easy way of you getting to know someone else, even if no business comes out of it, but at least the person that you in turn can give and introduce to someone else.
Yes. And we need to do more of that.
Yes. As women. Yes. Yes. You and I spoke about, how men meet on the golf course, and that's where a lot of business takes place. And we are like, women need to have a safe space where they can do that. So I like what you're doing, the Woo crew, right?
Yes, Woo crew.
Women elevating women.
Yes.
Okay. So I know you have a conference coming up.
Yes, we do.
Tell us a bit about that because I know that's a
Sure.
great place for the connect color, for the warm introductions, the strategic introductions to take place. Let's talk a bit about that.
I'm very excited, and we're like about 5 weeks out. So it's like, yes, yes, at the Women Elevating Women Conference. It's going to be held in Philadelphia, and it's September 11th through the 13th. You can get the details on our website, which is woocrew.com. It begins with the first evening. We have what is called a Entrepreneur Woman of Impact Awards dinner. So if you're registered, then you'll be able to attend that dinner. And that is a collaboration with Women Presidents Organization, which I am a chair, and I do, full disclosure, and I do sit on the board of directors. It's a collaboration with them and WOO, and it is generously sponsored by JP Morgan Chase. We recognize women in North America, 8 women who have revenues between $500,000 to $1 million, 8 who have revenues $1 million to $10 million, and 8 who have revenues from $10 million and above. And after that beautiful celebration, that first thing in the morning, we are going to be honored with a dynamite keynote speaker by the name of Bershawn Shaw. And she is the creator, developer of the Warrior app. She has a beautiful story where she's a 2-time breast cancer survivor. She had breast cancer at a very young age. I think it was 25. And she was determined to fight it. She says, I'm not going out like this. And so rather than going to get her chemotherapy with the sweatsuits and looking doom and gloom, she would put her makeup on, wear her stilettos, and she would come in ready to fight. And so through this, she's a global speaker, highly motivational speaker, and she will be our opening keynote speaker and talking about the mental health, the mental app, how to keep strong mentally. So I'm excited to hear Bershawn. And then from there, we will move into, on the 12th, our luncheon. These are our luncheon awards. We call them the Woo Pillar Awards. We are honoring 5 women under the 5 categories I spoke about under communicate, collaborate, connect, cultivate, and I'm missing one. Communicate, collaborate, courage.
Yeah.
So we are honoring 5 women across the country, the world, globally, 5 women in those categories. And we're also honoring 12 visionary men. These are men who support women in their own discipline. They support women and women initiatives. So that's the luncheon. And before the luncheon, we're going to have a speaker. His name is Tal Thompson. He's our other speaker. He is a celebrated elementary math teacher. And he's like, he goes by Tal Thompson, but they call him Tall. He's like 6'8". And can you imagine this 6'8" teacher working with these 4th and 5th graders that probably come to his waistline, and he gives them encouragement, and that's part of our cultivate. He is cultivating the youth for tomorrow, and so he's going to give a dynamite speech presentation about cultivation, and we're going to have breakout sessions. But our final keynote speaker is going to be the very next day, and her name is Jade Simmons. Jade Simmons is a concert pianist. And she, again, speaks all over the world, and she is going to integrate about encouragement and purpose. She talks about purpose, and she'll tell her story about how she became a concert pianist, and now she's running a multi-million-dollar business, and she's also doing coaching. We will also have an opportunity, what we call fireside chats. You'll have the opportunity to hear from my advisors to the CEO. I told you I have coaches and I have advisors. So my advisors will be there and we'll have a fireside chat. I will also have a fireside chat with the visionary men, 5 or 6 of the visionary men. I'll have a conversation with them. We have breakout sessions. We'll be talking about the AI, the use of AI. We'll talk about how to use it in your business. We'll also talk about some of the warning signs, some of the protections you need to have legally in the AI space. We'll have conversations on health. That is huge again for me. I have Dr. Angela Marshall, who's renowned, world renowned. She also was on a TV show with Dr. Fauci. She's here in the Maryland area. Someone else I want you to get to know, Dr. Angela Marshall. She's moderating that session, and she'll be talking with a functional health doctor, Dr. Janelle Linder, who's also radiation oncology. We'll be talking with doctors in the field of women's health, and that will be a conversation about taking care of your health. We also have our CFO, COO, Tian Ligon, Dawn, who is handling a session on finances. What do we do with finances? So she's got the CPAs, this, that, and the other in terms of looking at your business. She is very strong on the fundamentals of taking care of your business, knowing your numbers to scale. And so we have those type of breakout sessions that will be on the main stage where people, and the other part that I will have on the main stage is doing business globally. I have flying in from Canada. She is the president and CEO of CANSI, which is the Canadian Aboriginal Minority Supplier Council, Cassandra Dorrington. She's going to talk about doing business globally like in Canada. I have Jenny Zhu, who is a huge business owner, Jenny Zhu. She'll talk about how she came over to this country homeless, and now she's running a $9 million, global business. And then I will have another one of my advisors on there who either facilitate or she'll be a panelist, and that's Camille Burns from Women Presidents Organization. They have 149 chapters around the globe. So all of our breakout sessions will be centered around the 5 pillars of success. And I'm just so excited.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited just listening to you speak about this conference, that I know that many of my viewers and listeners will have so many questions for you, which of course you'll answer during the Q&A session. But for those who are not able to join us at the Q&A session after this live stream, where can people find you online, Betty? Because you have excited me. You have made me so happy that I met you, happy that I can share you with my listeners and my viewers. But because I know that not everyone is going to join us today, where can people find you online?
Well, you know where they can find me, because we do have at least 3 times a year, we have open sessions where we have Zoom, but they can find me on wewcrew.com. That's WEWCREW.com. And they can also, if they get on that website, they can click on my LinkedIn profile. That's my personal LinkedIn profile, which you'll see a lot of where I've been, what I've done, the awards and recognitions. They can click on that, and also on Facebook. It's wewcrew.com. That's where we keep together. We have a lot of women in our group that have been receiving honors, and we're just so proud. I am their biggest, I should be the chief cheerleader, because that's something we don't do well as women, and that's in terms of accepting or telling our stories and our honors. So I'm just very excited about having that opportunity to share my gifts, share the gifts of the women in our ecosystem with anyone who could attend the conference. We still have tickets that are available, or if they just want to catch up with us and follow along the way, go to our website.
I love it. And because I can see the energy that's coming from you and I'm feeling it, what is one parting word that you can leave with any woman listening into it, and men? Because I have men on this show time, and I know that you have, what did you call them? Empowering men?
I called it visionary men.
Visionary men, yes.
Yeah. I think the one message that I would leave for individuals is that it's important. All of us want to be successful, but it's not just being successful, it's being significant. And also know that being significant, what is your impact? So significance and impact are the words that I would leave for them.
Significance and impact. Oh, those are 2 powerful words indeed. So folks, as I always promise you, to bring on not just women just to talk, not just women just to be a guest, but women who will inspire you. I know I've been inspired by Betty. And if you would like to be a guest on my show, please just reach out to me on my website, which is chattingwiththeexperts.com. I'm also on LinkedIn as Paula Okonneh. I'm on Instagram. My handle there is @chat_experts_podcast. And I am on Facebook, and I hesitated there because that's a place that I'm just getting more and more familiar with. I'm also on Facebook as Paula Okonneh. Betty, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This has been, words are failing me. So I'll end with your words, your 2 words, which were significant and impactful. Thank you.
Keep elevating.